A lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Okay,
so really, so based on the labs, based on kind of the clinical history of kind of the way things have progressed, it sounds like the Kasai's not working. His liver's just not draining the bile that it needs to, and so you know, I don't know how much in detail people talk to you guys about.
We know that he's going to need a liver transplant.
Okay, so you guys have been talked about.
Right.
That. Okay.
We don't know
anything
where,
about that.
when, how, what, you know,
Okay.
that kind of
It was
stuff.
pretty much mentioned there's a really good chance liver transplant. That's it. So or less than twice.
So that's why we have been waiting patiently for this appointment.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, we're just like
count down the days to it.
Yeah.
So the way we do it, and I'm just gonna quickly peek at his lab screen. I saw them just a second ago, and then.
And obviously his color hasn't changed. He's still jaundice. In his eyes is jaundice. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I took him outside for maybe a minute yesterday.
Okay.
The sun shined down. I was like, wow, you are a yellow kid.
Yeah.
Because you can see it a lot better outside.
Yes. He's
I
yellow.
mean,
All right. So I think, and then the other question I had for you, which is something I don't want to forget, is you had mentioned to his doctor last time, or was it Dr. Martin?
Yes.
About his belly getting a little bit more distended. How's that?
It is.
Is it to you
Yes.
still? Okay.
Yeah,
No. Keep doing. I'll check him afterward.
Okay.
I don't.
Very much so.
Okay.
It's very distended, and it doesn't seem like it hurts him
Okay.
or anything.
Okay.
But his bowel movements. I mean, I know he's really straining.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, I'll take what we can get.
Exactly. Thank you so much. He really strains.
Okay.
I mean, his whole face obviously turns beet red.
Okay.
his vein pops in his head. You can see it.
He's just like,
Okay.
and then he holds on to, you know, my fingers.
Yeah.
You know, and he's real, you know, he's pressure, and you know, he's really gassy.
Okay.
I mean, like, where he's just, there's about a good maybe 5 minutes of it hurts until I can get the burp out, till I could, and I've been giving him the gas drops 3 times a day.
Yep.
Now, and then what I do is, you know, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I notice that after he has the urosol too. The urosol helps with letting it really come out instead of the strain.
Okay.
You know, but come about 3 o'clock in the morning, I will change his diaper and I have to do this thing, like back and forth to get the poops.
Any vomiting?
No, he projectile vomited for the first time yesterday, and it was right after I fed him and I was in the middle of a burp.
Okay. Okay.
You know, he is spitting up, but nothing excessive.
And you're just nursing, right? No formula? Okay. Okay.
It's not like he was. It'll just be like.
Okay, so
It'll
just
just
like a
come
little
out,
spit up or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, so let's kind of start, I agree that this is probably going to lead to liver transplant. I think that we have 2 transplant centers near us. One is UCSF, one is Stanford. And so they both do pediatrics. Where do you guys live? Vallejo. So San Francisco is probably going to be a lot easier for you to get to.
I would think so. What's the setup like there? Because it's hard for me to leave him, and I know Stanford has the Ronald McDonald House.
Right.
You know, because he's going to be there, you know, for a while.
Well, the actual transplant side of things the kids are only in there for like a week. For liver transplants, kids usually recover very quickly. Like, you know, that's saying everything goes smoothly and there's no complications.
Right.
If there is so usually what happens is to get the transplant, you get placed on a list, and depending on where you are on the list, you're going to get an offer. Biliary atresia is the #1 reason for children to require liver transplant. You know, I don't have all of his numbers here because we need to look at his clotting function, his protein levels, which they haven't been drawn, so we're going to have to check kind of more recent labs. But based on his numbers, he'll get a score, a pediatric liver, like a pediatric score versus like an adult score to be placed on that transplant list. Because he'll be technically like competing with other children of the same age size for that liver, and based on his labs and his clinical picture, he'll get placed somewhere on that list. He'll get a score that places him somewhere on that list. Based on his labs right now, he's going to be somewhere right in the middle. Okay. Obviously that'll change once we get a new set of labs and we'll see what things are doing.
Okay, so let's say it takes 6 months. Are you going to draw his labs every month to see where he was going to go on that list?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually maybe even more frequently than that.
Good. Okay.
So we'll be checking labs frequently. What happens as his liver disease is going to progress, as his liver gets more and more and more scarred down, we're going to start seeing other kind of manifestations of liver failure. So the proteins that his liver is supposed to make, like the clotting proteins and stuff like that, his liver's no longer going to be able to make those. So we're going to have to give him supplemental vitamins like vitamin K in addition to the 8X that he's already taking to kind of help his liver get through that. So there will be a risk of bleeding because he's not going to be able to clot as quickly. When your liver does scar down, the blood vessels that normally flow through the liver up to the heart, there's going to be some backflow in those blood vessels. So just like a pipe or a hose, when you kind of constrict it on one end, that backflow causes the vessels below it in the belly to get dilated. So like, you know how you get varicose veins, same type of thing, you get varicose veins in your belly. And those can occur anywhere in your belly, but mostly around the esophagus. They can cause him to have bleeding internally. Well, not internally, he'll throw it up.
And in that case, we go to the ER, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the main reasons to go to the emergency room. If that happens, then what we would need to do is take a look with an endoscopy and actually inject medication into those vessels to make them stop bleeding.
Right.
The other thing that could potentially happen is that he could develop something called ascites. And so ascites is where kids develop fluid in their belly, and it's all related to this backflow of the blood vessels and the liver scarring down and stuff. And that's usually also partly due to the fact that his liver is no longer making the proteins that it's supposed to. So sometimes we have to give him special medicines to help draw the water from the belly back into his blood vessels, so he can function it normally and pee it off. So I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you guys right now. I don't expect you guys to remember any of this really.
That's why we're taping.
But I just want you to remember that this could and most likely is going to get worse before you get the transplant. Okay? It's unusual for kids who are just at his stage right now of the liver disease to get a transplant very quickly.
Okay, so what about matching? What about family members?
So that's a definite possibility. So what I am going to do is I'm going to get a referral in sooner rather than later, so at least they can meet you. It's not necessarily that he's going to get the transplant immediately, but I want them to evaluate him, evaluate you guys, see if there is a potential match or a possibility of having a donor from the family.
Because he has a huge family.
Okay.
And we're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, absolutely, so. and that's great. Is he your first child? Okay. And so I definitely think we should evaluate that. The one other thing I didn't look at. I want to just look at the liver biopsy. Because I'm going to go down and review this liver biopsy, but depending on where we send him to for the transplant, I'm going to send the slides of his liver biopsy to them. So they can review it as well.